welcome, welcome. Glad y'all are here. When you can get connected, it'd be great to have you enter your name in the chat and maybe where you're from so that we can greet you. Oh, hey, Mary Lee. Welcome. Hi, Mary. Thanks. Go ahead and put your name and your location in the chat so we can kind of see who's here. We'll be able to see each other most of the evening, but we're going to start out with a slide, and there'll be slides on and off. So glad you could make it. We're getting quite a few folks joining in. All right. Shout out to Max from Senator Bennett's office. Glad you're here.
Hi, Cindy. Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cindy Shepard. I'm asking people to put their names and their places in the chat so we can kind of see where folks are. If you wouldn't mind. Thanks, this is great. Boy, it's happy hour on a Tuesday. What better time to get together and talk about clean energy jobs, right? I have 5 o'clock and my prompter just fell off. So, so let's get started. Hey, welcome, welcome. So glad that you're here. I work for Faith in Place. My name's Cindy Shepard, and we are here with lots of folks who are very excited about growing clean energy jobs, especially in downstate Illinois. So your hosts today, you'll find their names on the slides, but E2, which is Energy Entrepreneurs, Eco Justice Collaborative, Faith in Place Action Fund, the Prairie Group of the Illinois Sierra Club, thank you, and Prairie Rivers Network. And all of us are very eager to share with you stories of how jobs in this field are growing in downstate Illinois. So you're going to hear from across the sector. First, we're going to hear from Senator Bennett, and we're going to hear a jobs report, but then we're also going to hear how those reports work out in real life. So we'll hear from training opportunities in downstate training programs. We've got some stories from workers whose careers have taken off in renewable energy, and voices from growing businesses in this field. And finally, we're going to hear from the policy director from Faith in Place Action Fund to tell us about where CJET, the Clean Energy Jobs Act, is now in the legislature and how we can help get it pushed over the line in this last 2.5 weeks of the legislative session. We're going to take questions and discussion at the end of the hour. So as those questions or discussion points come to you, please go ahead and drop them in the chat box as we go along. Now, our headliner for the evening it was and is Senator Scott Bennett. He's a clean energy champion, and I'm proud to say my senator. Unfortunately, as you know, the Senate is just awash in legislation, as they said on CapVax this morning. And he was not able to be with us in person, but he did send a message by video and sent his aide, Max Mansky, to share that with us. So I'm going to turn that over or have Elena play that video now, and then that'll be immediately followed by a wonderful Clean Energy Jobs by the Numbers report that's presented by Michaela Preskel from Energy Entrepreneurs. So we'll see those two clips together to get us started and get on our Growing Clean Energy Jobs Town Hall. Elena?
Good evening. I'm Scott Bennett, and welcome to the Clean Energy Jobs Act Town Hall. I apologize I'm not able to be here tonight to participate alongside these fantastic panelists. I have a packed legislative session here in Springfield with CEJA and other environmental bills to get passed, so I hope that my words and my commitment will suffice. America's always been strongest when it was leading the world in innovation, manufacturing, and development. We mass-produced the first affordable car. We developed the polio vaccine, and we put a person on the moon. These victories were possible because we took action and because we kept pushing the envelope and resolving to do what others thought couldn't be done. As we face a more uncertain climate future, it is time again to think big, to think bold, and most importantly, to think green. The Clean Energy Jobs Act will retool our economy to work better for our communities. CEJA will expand access to clean energy careers and improve air and water quality, leading to healthier communities. CEJA will also help us make critical investments in cleaning up our public transportation systems, operating a smoother, greener, and more affordable commute. CEJA will also achieve a carbon-free power sector by 2030 and creates a roadmap to a 100% renewable energy future by 2050. So today, you will hear from some of the best green energy experts our state has to offer. Their tireless work and dedication led Illinois to become a regional leader in green energy implementation. By taking a look back at what we've already done, we can better understand how we can move forward and make the most of our head start. I look forward to working with all of you in the future, and I look forward to supporting a Clean Energy Jobs Act as it makes its way through the legislature for my vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bennett. Thank you for being here with us tonight. My name's Michaela Preskill, and I'm the Midwest Advocate with E2. And I'm so excited to be here to talk about clean energy job opportunities in Illinois and the potential that this industry has to grow. Let me start by sharing my screen and introducing E2. So E2 is a national nonpartisan group of business leaders who advocate for policies that are good for the environment and good for the economy, like clean energy. Clean energy is a job creator, and that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. So E2 releases reports each year that document the size and scope of the clean energy industry, and I want to share a few major takeaways from those reports tonight. So first off, clean energy is a major employer. We released a report, Clean Jobs America, a few weeks ago, which found that 677,000 people throughout the Midwest region and 115,000 people in Illinois go to work in clean energy each day. What are these jobs? Well, the largest sector is energy efficiency, and that's electricians who go into homes and buildings to upgrade HVAC systems, for example, or it's factory workers who manufacture Energy Star appliances. The industry also includes renewable energy, so construction workers installing wind turbines in rural areas and solar on rooftops in cities. The industry also includes advanced transportation, like building electric vehicles and hybrids and the parts that go into these cars. Also, jobs developing clean grid and clean fuel technologies. Now, the thing that I want you to take away tonight is that this industry has a lot of untapped potential. And the numbers show that too. So, two data points I want to share. The first is that prior to the pandemic, clean energy jobs were growing 5 times as fast as overall statewide employment in Illinois. While, like the rest of the economy in 2012, the sector lost jobs, clean energy is recovering faster nationally at a rate faster than the overall economy. Both these facts speak to the industry's potential to continue to grow. Our lawmakers in Illinois can play a major role in creating new job opportunities for people throughout the state by prioritizing clean energy policies. And with policies like CEJA, we can build on an economy that brings opportunities to every corner of our state. And frankly, that's a smart move because clean energy jobs are good jobs. Clean energy jobs on average pay 13% higher than the state median wage. Clean energy jobs are also more likely to be unionized and come with healthcare and retirement benefits than the rest of the private sector. And these jobs are in every county in Illinois, which means that growing the industry benefits every corner of Illinois. 10% of clean energy workers are veterans. That's nearly twice the representation of veterans in the state's overall workforce. And small businesses drive the region's clean energy sector. Nearly 75% of Illinois clean energy businesses employ less than 20 people. So as we look to create jobs for Illinois, it's clear that we should prioritize industries like clean energy. And the shift to a cleaner economy would create new major opportunities for job seekers all throughout the state. The time to act is now. As we'll hear more tonight, we need our state lawmakers to pass comprehensive energy legislation like the Clean Energy Jobs Act so we can build off this foundation and grow a promising industry. So now we'll move to the real meat of tonight's town hall, where we'll hear from clean energy workers and program directors. So let's move on to the rest of the town hall. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michaela. Thank you. And Senator Bennett, it's really great to hear about the potential that exists in clean energy and that some of it is yet untapped. Now, in the next segment of our program, we're going to hear from two of the training programs that prepare people to step into those jobs in clean energy. The first story we are going to hear is from the Danville Area Community College, where their wind technician service program is flying high right now. And then we've got Kurt Rendell, who is going to talk to us about the electric vehicle and energy storage program that is just beginning now at Heartland Community College. So Elena, let's hear from Danville first.
I'm Greg Gansborough. I am the alternative energy instructor here at Danville Area Community College. The program is the Wind Energy Technician Program. It's a 2-year program, and students do earn an applied associate's in science. An entry-level wind tech can expect to make between $18 and $22 an hour starting. After they've been in the field for a year, they should expect to make between $25 and $30 an hour. The program is about 60% hands-on. It is physical, however, you don't have to be an athlete to enter the program. You'll definitely get in shape as you go. So with the demand for combined renewable techs, wind and solar, we have integrated solar into our wind tech program so that our students get exposure to both. We're one of only a few schools in the nation that offer a degree program in wind technology.
So my name is Jacob Swanson. I graduated December 13th. I definitely enjoyed my time here at DACC. The instructors are great. Everybody's great. Everybody goes out of their way to help you succeed. And that's what I love about this school. The program was ran exceptionally well. Greg knew exactly what he was doing. He helps every student through it. And if he even sees you having a problem through something, he'll bend over backwards to help you get through it. Yes, there's a lot of job security in wind energy. Wind energy is actually just getting started. It hasn't really peaked yet. Job growth passed up nursing a year ago with 108% job growth. They can't get us out of the schoolhouse fast enough. Right now is the best time to get in when they absolutely need you. As far as I know, the techs that I've spoken to who've been in it for a good 5-10 years say they're not going anywhere. They feel very safe with their jobs.
Hello, I'm Kurt Rendell. I'm the Executive Director of Work Ready Program Development and Innovation at Heartland Community College. It's a pleasure to be here with everyone tonight. We're really excited to share some of the work that we've been doing on the renewable energy front, and especially as it overlaps with manufacturing. Heartland has been working for over 2 years now to research electric vehicle manufacturing and energy storage programs. And we've connected with a number of other programs around the country and around the world. And as this past fall, the state released a grant opportunity to apply for kind of a funding to launch cutting edge programs that were really going to drive Illinois into the future in terms of manufacturing renewable energies and really building in a strong equity component to these programs. So we pulled together a strong application focused on electric vehicles and energy storage, and we were excited, absolutely thrilled to learn that we would be funded just a couple weeks ago. On the slide here, we have a rendering of what this addition would look like. This is onto one of our current buildings. We'd be building this new addition that would house this electric vehicle and energy storage program. See if I can switch slides. Electric vehicles are expected to grow exponentially, and we're not too far off from like the end of the internal combustion engine, with some figures, some estimates projecting that manufacturers will really move away by 2030 in ceasing to produce internal combustion engines. This graph shows that there's about 6,000 current jobs in Illinois related to electric transportation, and that's projected to grow rapidly over the next few years. Looking at the concentration of these jobs, there's a strong component in McLean County in central Illinois, and of course in Chicago in the suburbs and around Rockford. And we believe that the central location of this electric vehicle program will be ideal. We're connected to many interstates that connect through the rest of the state. And then we want to roll out this program in as online of a manner as possible, and then work in conjunction with other community colleges to make this training available throughout the state. We're really leading on the electric vehicle side first over the next year to 2 years while we're building the energy storage component in the background. We're looking at 4 different stackable certificates that lead to different occupations in this area. The light maintenance and repair would kind of be that first touch point where someone could come in, they could learn in a little over a semester how to swap out some easier components, get the basics of safety and the vehicle, and then they could work at a production facility or start off at kind of a repair facility. The next step up would be like 27 credit hours. It's about a year's worth of study. And this position is kind of a neat point where someone could come in, get a really technical sense of how the vehicle works. But if they don't want to become like an actual technician, they could work in kind of an interpersonal realm where they're working with people that have electric vehicles, understanding any issues that are happening, help write up tickets and do the diagnosis and some of the communication back and forth between the technicians and the customers who have the vehicles. And then the electric vehicle technology certificate is the real advanced coursework within our electric vehicle program. So that's kind of the second year coursework. And the neat thing about this is it's really an upskill opportunity. So people that are already certified in traditional automotive maintenance could come in, take this upskill certificate, and then get that electric vehicle specialization. And they could work as a specialized electric vehicle technician. And then we'll have the whole electric vehicle technology associate of applied science degree. So anyone going into that program would earn all 3 certificates underneath that. This breaks all the rules of PowerPoint, so I absolutely apologize. Here we're trying to show some of the pathways where people could come in on the energy storage side or on the electric vehicle side, and just see like throughout a person's career that there's a lot of different opportunities and you know, as different employers are growing in different aspects, there'd be flexibility to move up and move over. So we like to think of it as kind of a career lattice instead of just necessarily like a career path. So it's building in a lot of flexibility for employers and for workers. And one thing I want to share on the energy storage side, that's a term you don't hear a lot yet, but it's growing. So we kind of envision a day down the road where, you know, there's all these batteries that are being used on vehicles, the electric vehicles, and they're good for 2, 3, 4 years on a vehicle where they have that high charge, high drain. They're being tasked with that. And then after that, they could be pulled off a vehicle and you could have a set of them on your garage wall or in your basement. And instead of a generator, you could charge your batteries either from the grid during off-peak times, or you could pull from solar panels or a wind turbine and store up your battery. And then, you know, in terms of power being out or at peak energy demand times, you could pull from your battery instead of pulling from the grid. And this could even be deployed at commercial scale or a utility scale. So, you know, when you think of farmers drying their grain, instead of using propane, they could be pulling from batteries. Or, you know, the utilities we could have huge utility scale battery farms where we're storing energy from wind turbines and from solar, and then, you know, meeting off-peak demand or meeting peak demand with stored energy. So that's a really exciting area that we're looking at going into. This is another one that kind of breaks the rules of PowerPoint. It kind of gives us, our project is broken into 2 phases, where we have this initial phase where we're launching our programs right away before we even have the facility built on campus. So we're looking at some outside space, getting them outfitted over the summer and being able to launch a program this fall. And then working more on the hybrid model and how we can bring in additional employers and additional community colleges to scale the program over the next couple of years. And then our second phase will be, once the facility is created on campus, we'll be moving into that facility and we'll have the hybrid model built out, the other employer partners, and then the energy storage program will be scheduled to launch then. So to get a quick look at our campus, we have this existing building right here, and the new addition will be going on the end of the building for the electric vehicle and energy storage. And we have some existing space that'll be converted to classrooms. And then we really have a big vision for what this manufacturing training academy will be. And as we were applying for the grant, we knew we had about $16 to $20 million of work that we'd want to do and to build all these advanced training programs out. And the initial grant that we applied for was for $7.5 million. So in the light pink areas, that's what we targeted initially. And now we're working on our plan for how we're going to make an even larger, more integrated program that'll take care of this middle portion. And this is an existing street view of where the facility will be added to. And then that's the projection of what the facility will look like. I'm grateful to be able to be here tonight and share a little bit more of the work that we're doing. Please feel free to visit heartland.edu/EV for electric vehicle. And there's a little inquiry form on the bottom that you can fill out if you like to kind of stay in tune with updates on the program. And then you can also email me at kurt.rendell@heartland.edu if you'd like to connect for any reason. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Kurt. That is really exciting to hear, especially with Rivi in there and Bloomington Normal, and last weekend's announcement that Lion electric buses are going to be coming up to Will County. It's really, really cool to know that we'll be training people so that our vehicles can stay charged up and running smooth on Illinois roads in the future. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, we heard about training programs. Now in this next section, what's a clean energy town hall going to be without stories from some of the great young people who have been building their careers in the clean energy sector? So first up, I'm pleased to introduce Rakee Robertson, who's going to talk about her solar journey. And I want to tell you, I saw Rakee's video, and in the background, she has a big monitor where there's a news story that actually is featuring her program and her in it as part of the news in Peoria there. So after we hear her speak and talk to us a little bit, we're going to hear from Bryce Kyle, who I caught up with after a 12-hour day as an electrical foreman with Sunrun Solar. So I was grateful that even though he had had a long day, he took time to talk to us about what the solar career had meant to him. So let's hear.
Hi, my name is Rakai. I'm a solar installer and a solar support specialist for Straight Up Solar. My solar journey pretty much was very unique because last February I got started right before the COVID pandemic, and I got handed a flyer, I remember, for a solar pipeline training boot camp. And before I attended, I never knew anything about what solar was. I never heard of it before. After I attended, I realized that, it's something that I could could very well be interested in. So I decided to go ahead and give the program a chance. Kyle did a really good job of giving us a lot of insight and informed us about what solar is and what it can do. And we also got to see a solar module in real life. So that was very interesting. I went ahead and gave the program a chance. I enrolled the Jobs Partnership, which I believe FIJA helps fund. And Jobs Partnership is like a developmental training program. You have to complete at least 4 weeks of that training before you move on to the technical part of the solar program. So during Jobs Partnership, we're learning things about, different skills to help us on our day-to-day training, breathing exercises, discussions and topics that were related to the Bible. We learned, we had financial advisors, we had tutors, everything there was necessary to help us move on. So once you got your certificate from Jobs Partnership, move on to the ICC part, the Illinois Central College, where you receive the technical training of solar. I went through that, did the hands-on.
It looks like we lost audio.
Let me try to reshare. 1 second.
While Elaine is fixing that, I can chime in and share that the solar training opportunities that you're hearing Rakai talk about and that you'll hear Bryce talk about were created with the 2016 Future Energy Jobs Act. This is the bill that Senator Bennett and many others supported back in 2016. And they created the Solar for All program and a solar workforce training pipeline. And if we can pass comprehensive energy legislation like the Clean Energy Jobs Act, we'll have similar workforce opportunities planned across the state. In the Clean Energy Jobs Act, Decatur, Champaign-Urbana, Peoria, and Danville are all named in the bill as having workforce hubs and contractor incubators to help grow new clean energy businesses, especially for folks in communities of color, environmental justice communities, displaced energy workers, so people that are laid off from coal mines or coal-fired power plants will be able to enroll in these programs. So it's really exciting to hear Rakai's story, especially as she mentioned, starting this training right when the pandemic was hitting, when most people were losing their jobs. Rakai was entering a training program, finding a job, and beginning a new career. So it's pretty exciting.
So I have a few notes that I want to make sure that I share with you guys before I let you go. I definitely want to let you know that this program helped me mature in a lot of ways. It taught me a lot of things I wouldn't know if I didn't give this field a try. It provided me with a lot of opportunities as well, such as caring for the planet and being a change in my community. I now go back to in jobs partnership, and I talk to the people in the classes, and I let them know that this is a good program. You should give it a try. It's real. I did it. You can do it. And I'm proud of you for taking this first step. It also provides me with a lot of opportunities as far as learning how to use certain tools and proper PPE, and knowledge about the sun and how solar works. And as I said before, solar never mattered to me before this because it's not a popular subject in the workplace or in school. So it definitely helps raise awareness to grab people out in broken communities and put them through a positive program like solar. So with that being said, I'm very excited to also announce that I'm in training to be a Solar for All admin at Straight Up Solar, in addition to my other duties. And I just hope that these opportunities and programs for training and projects continue to help others just like me in my state. And I just want you to know that I haven't regretted a single decision since I started my solar career. And this program is a win-win. You go to school, you get paid, and you get a job at the end of it. So, thanks for listening to my solar journey.
My name is Bryce Kyle, and I'm an electrical foreman for Sunrun Vivid. I got into solar a couple years ago. I heard about a FIJA class through a very important person to me, my mother. I went to the orientation, didn't really like it, but I never give up or quit on anything. So I decided to go back. I was chosen. I was in the course. I did really well in it. In the past, with 97%. From there, I was hired by Millennium Solar on a commercial project, 850 plus kilowatt microgrid, and got my feet wet on something really large. From there, I kind of like took that into a couple small companies till I landed with Vivint. I've been at Vivint now for the last 2 years. That's for foreman. It's really dope. I work outside every day. It's really rewarding. My company was recently bought out by Sunrun, so I'm Sunrun Vivint now. It's really cool being a part of the solar industry for a couple of reasons. I'm really interested in being a part of the change I want to see. I get to do that every day. I like to put smiles on customers' faces when they also get an opportunity to carve their carbon footprint, get that going, and do their own part as far as sustainable energy and things of that nature. Great industry. Went from a decently employed man to a really, really well-employed man. They pay very well. I'm not going to go into how much they pay me, but it's a very competitive industry, and you'll have a great time. The course was awesome. It got me prepared for most of the things that I see in the field. But most importantly, it's all about dedication, hard work, and just really wanting something, putting your mind to it, doing all you can to achieve those goals. And if you do that, the FIJA program is a success. If not, it's just like anything else. Thank you. Go solar.
Hey, I think it's really great for us to get some faces and some stories to go with all those clean energy jobs figures that we talk about sometimes. It's really great to hear how it makes a difference in people's lives. So that was fun. Now we're privileged to have two representatives of some dynamic clean energy businesses that are investing here in Central Illinois and in Illinois' energy future. So first up is Tim Powers from Innovatus, who's going to talk about a project that they're building on a Danville brownfield. And he'll be followed then by Kai Ajayi, who's the Straight Up Solar Accessibility Manager. And he's going to talk about his work building equity in the energy workforce. So, Tim, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Sydney. Just to confirm, can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Sydney. Yeah, my name is Timothy Powers. Thank you for inviting me here today to speak about some of our great work that Innovatus is doing right in the heart of Danville, Illinois. We are what's known as an EPC solar firm that's engineering, procurement, and construction. We're a Midwest leader in clean energy development, financing, and design, build, construction services. And currently, Illinois is actually our most active state, which we're very excited about. And a lot of that is because of FIJA 1, frankly. We have this is one of our utility projects on the screen here, but jumping ahead, oh, here we go. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting through. There we go. So we actually have about 50 megawatts of solar under construction or already complete within Illinois. And just for our financial reference, that's right around $60 million of investment just in the last 2 years into the state. We are based in Indiana, but we do hire locally for several of the professions that we look to have active on these sites. That includes construction laborers, certified electricians, and a variety of other pieces that go into making these projects operational. So our work is spread out between 5 counties currently across the state, and that employs about 100 workers among the positions that I just kind of went through. I'm going to speak on the Danville Brownfield project that we have just wrapped up most of our work on, and it's very exciting because kind of the back history and story of this site. So just for a little bit of context on this, we were approached by the owner of this site and this project back in 2019. They were utilizing some of the clean energy credits that were made available through the FIJA program, which are specifically designated for brownfield redevelopment. And just for this group's understanding, a brownfield is essentially a site that has hazardous materials which limit redevelopment. Usually you can't build housing projects or any kind of commercial entity where people are going to be out there consistently. And this particular site, which is on the southwest side of the city of Danville, was an old landfill site, which among other things had a lot of refuse from a nearby coal mine, as well as some ash and sludge, and really just nasty and toxic materials that the EPA was not going to let anyone go near, much less build on. So the city is essentially stuck with this large site for many, many decades. And thankfully, FIJA came around and had the foresight to say, hey, these sites are, in some spots around the state, they're actually really good for clean energy development and solar development. Let's create some value out of these sites and see how we can bring folks like Innovatus in to develop and build these things. So in 2020, just last year, we broke ground on the Danville site. Here's some of those images from that project. We broke ground on that site, and currently it is an operational 2 megawatt system. For reference, that's enough clean energy to serve about 900 homes within Ameren Utilities territory. Folks can subscribe through Ameren's clean energy program and essentially be off-takers of the clean energy coming from this site, which is very exciting for folks in Illinois. At the peak construction, this site had about 20 workers doing some of the piping that you see right there, as well as electrical installers, folks pounding the piles. Really, kind of the exact same kind of workers that we just heard from Sunrun speak about that really were trained under FIJA and are now working on these projects, both commercial and also residential around the state. So very happy to have a workforce that was ready and able and capable to get this thing done for our client on time and to a very high standard that we need to stick to for our projects. Just a few more facts. This site had about 6,300 solar panels installed on it. And moving ahead to what this looks like completed there, that is what this looks like today. I'm sorry I don't have any drone shots for this presentation, but we are just wrapped up this site, and it's behind. It's not terribly visible from kind of the construction or where the construction is today, but it is the biggest operational system in that county, I believe, and right there at a good spot for Danville. That really speaks to the value of how FEJA can take these brownfield sites, which a lot of folks, a lot of communities, and even site owners don't really know what to do with sometimes. But when solar is involved, it can be really a straightforward and highly valuable win-win situation for folks who want to create value out of these brownfield sites. So that is all we have to say about this site. Thank you for hosting or having me today. And Cindy, I'll let you take it away from here.
Thanks, Kai. I'll pass you the microphone next.
Thanks so much, Cindy. It's good to be here. My name's Kai. I'm with Straight Up Solar. As Cindy mentioned, I'm a solar accessibility manager. I'm also a project developer. I'm a direct beneficiary of FEJA. I left the ivory tower of political science teaching in several universities and decided to go out and do what I'd been telling my students to do all this time, just go out and make a change in the world. The universe was kind enough to put me together with Straight Up Solar, which had enough funding in March of 19 to consider expanding our office here in Bloomington Normal and bring me on board. And I've not looked back since. The program has allowed me, the company has allowed me to grow into this position of solar accessibility manager. What that means is I'm looking to try to figure out ways that we can bring solar to Black and brown and poor and underserved communities in the state. Our company is a benefits corporation, which means we put people above profit. And our president, Dr. Dane Glick, has given me the task of spending 50% of my time to figure out how do we get solar into these communities of which I speak. FEJA has given us a good start. We've come a long way. We've done a lot. And this funding cliff that we are facing is really putting the crimp on what we can do. So our hope is that Senator Bennett and others will find a way to pass legislation that will allow us to continue to do good things in the solar industry. Another hat that I wear is as president of Central Road Energy. I bought that company at the beginning of this year because I saw an opportunity to participate in the Illinois Solar for All program more actively. You heard from Rakai and others who are graduates of the pipeline program. This is an excellent way to get jobs into the community. They cater in particular to formerly incarcerated folks and graduates or alumni of the foster care program. So some of the most vulnerable in our society are given opportunities to learn a trade and earn a decent living in the solar industry. I'm encouraged by these efforts. As Reverend Pierce has often said, we're looking with this solar revolution to ensure that Black and brown and poor communities are not overlooked the same way they were when the information superhighway came flying through. So I'm living proof that there is opportunity for people of color, that we can grow and thrive in this industry. And my sincere hope is that these efforts will continue into the foreseeable future as we move towards 100% renewable energy in the state. Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you, Kai, and thanks, Tim. It's great to hear how the industry is growing in so many ways. So I really appreciate hearing about your work. Finally, I'd like to welcome my colleague, the Reverend Scott Onquay, who is the Policy Director at Faith in Place Action Fund, and he can bring us up to date on the next elegant step, the Clean Energy Jobs Act, and tell us how it is vital to pass this legislation and how we can help get that done. Pastor O, take it away.
First, Cindy, I want to thank you for a great afternoon and thank you to everyone that has joined us. This has been very engaging hearing not only from those in the solar industry that are employing solar technicians and wind energy technicians, but also those that have been trained through the programs which were created from FEJA. Now, FEJA was a great program, but we have a bill that's called CEJA, which is only going to enhance what is being done in the solar and renewable energy field. And so just last week, I had a meeting with a Central Illinois mayor, the mayor of Peoria, Mayor Ali, and she was excited about the opportunity that CEJA would bring to her city of Peoria with her SMART program, thinking about electrification of vehicles and fleets. And then just yesterday, we had another meeting with the Central Illinois representative, Representative Booth, Jahan Gordon Booth, who was also very excited about CEJA and has now become a co-sponsor for CEJA. And so my ask is real simple. When we think about the legislation that is going on in Springfield and the competing energy bills that are out there, CEJA clearly is the bill that will allow Midwest to be or Illinois to be a leader in the Midwest with the growing energy economy. So while expanding equitable access to public health, cleaner environment, quality jobs, economic opportunities, and wealth building, we want to call to action, just as Senator Bennett has already said, he's a champion for CEJA. We want you to contact your legislators and ask, are they sponsoring CEJA? Are they sponsoring the Clean Energy Jobs Act? Also let the governor know that we're happy with the bill that he presented because it closely lines up with CEJA. But CEJA is the one bill that could clearly tackles all of the issues equitably as we move forward in this clean energy economy. And so if you can, and if you will, if you enjoyed this, if you were pleased to hear about the success stories of those that came on, the young people that have found employment in the clean energy sector, the employers that are putting community solar projects throughout the state, especially Central Illinois and Downstate, I want you to contact your legislator today. You can go and sign a petition, which our comms director has put a link in our chat for you to link onto. And when you sign that petition, it goes straight to your legislator. Let them know that you want CEJA to pass. CEJA can't wait. We are near the end of the negotiations this week. They're hashing out all of the details, and we want to make sure that the clean energy bill that services out of all these negotiations looks and resembles the Clean Energy Jobs Act. So thank you, Reverend Cindy, for allowing me just to speak briefly to your audience. And we hope that when we hear the great news about CEJA passing, everyone will be excited because we know that CEJA can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor O. Pastor O is a great lobbyist and works for us in Springfield, twisting arms and helping people understand the importance of CEJA. But he can't do his job unless we as citizen lobbyists do ours. So please do contact your legislators and the governor and let them know that CEJA can't wait. We want CEJA passed in May, this month. We have done great with time. Everyone was so wonderful. And just, so we have plenty of time to take questions. If you have questions or comments, I know that some of you have been putting them in the chat during this, during the discussion and the presentations. We're gonna be having those pulled out of the chat, and I'm gonna turn over the microphone to Amanda Pankow from the Prairie Rivers Network and Pam Richards from the Eco Justice Collaborative to moderate the question and answer period. So get those questions in and let's hear what you're thinking about.
Thank you, Cindy, and thank you to all our panelists and those that submitted videos ahead of time. The organizers of this event just had so much fun getting to know people leading in the workforce opportunities that are working in the field and own these businesses. And we're excited to have all of the participants on tonight as well. So again, please put your questions in the chat. We do have a couple that have come through already. And so the first one from Mary, I believe, is to Kurt about the EV vehicle training. So she wonders if you're working with the vehicle manufacturer in your area. So I'm assuming she's referring to Rivian. So can you share with us how the program will work with Rivian, if and how it will?
We're kind of planning a launch of more details in the coming weeks or month. So I can confirm that we're working with a lot of area employers to make sure that our programs are designed to meet the needs of employers, and that we're working hand in hand to, really align our training with needs, and then making opportunities available for students to get kind of hands-on experience in realistic settings and real life settings. But I don't have real specific details at this point.
Thank you, Kurt.
So Mary has a second question, and this one is for Tim, and she wants to know, Tim, if the toxic waste at the brownfield site in Danville was remediated in a way that makes it safe.
So that's a very good question. I cannot speak to the exact methods of remediation on that site, but I can say that the EPA, both federally and at state level, will not allow any kind of development, even solar development, without certain steps being taken to remove the proper toxins and go through the proper remediation stages, which takes years. It started back in, I think, 2001 on that site before anyone can come in and build on the site. And just a bit more, so one reason solar is so good for some of these sites is because that is a landfill that has a cap, and there's a limit as to how far down any kind of ground penetration can go. We can design specific racking on the solar system that only goes down so far and leaves that cap untouched. So there's 6 feet or so of dirt on site and other coverings. So yeah, in short answer, all the toxins which are still there are trapped and kept in place by the EPA and their standards.
Thank you for that. How about other questions? Anybody else?
Wow, did we answer all your questions? That's awesome. Or did we just have people doing videos, and so the questions that you have for them? Michaela is here, although she presented on a video. Michaela, I was interested in that jobs report, and can you say more about how the data was gathered?
Yeah, so the data comes from the Clean Jobs America report, which E2 releases each year. And in fact, we'll be releasing a Midwest version of that report with Clean Jobs Midwest this summer that goes into a much kind of more detail on just the Midwest states. So more to come on that. But the data is part of a massive national effort that's part of the United States Energy and Employment Report, which is was historically done as part of the DOE, and then has since been contracted out separately, but is actually going back to the DOE department. And it's a collaboration of BLS data as well as surveys of clean energy companies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have a question from Jeff. He sent it to me directly. Oh no, sorry, it's from Terry, asking if the presentation is going to be sent to participants so that they may share with others. And yes, we are recording tonight's event, and so I'm sure Faith in Place will send it out. I know often Prairie Rivers Network will put our videos on YouTube. It looks like Faith in Place will do the same. So there'll be a few different ways to access it after the tonight, and we'd love folks to share. And that was maybe a question I had for Kurt, and maybe others could answer it as well. You know, something that Kurt said that struck me was that we're not too far off from the end of manufacturing internal combustion engines. And that's just amazing to me. And I feel like so many people don't understand that electric vehicles are the future. And so Kurt, I don't know if you could speak to if you're seeing a change in that, like especially in your area where you do have Rivian setting up shop, just speak to kind of the public's understanding of this change. And then maybe other panelists could speak to it in their sectors. You know, even solar, even though it's more prevalent now, we still see people not recognizing that change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we haven't really hit the tipping point publicly as much, where you see the change, you see the tsunami coming. But speaking to manufacturers and the supply chain, like all of that infrastructure and momentum's building in that direction. And I think the closest thing we have are the press releases from the major manufacturers saying that they're investing, you know, $120 billion over the next few years in electric vehicles. And when you search like energy storage projects, a lot of the energy storage has been taking place in Asia or in Europe, but there's billions of dollars being poured into these areas. So I think from the college perspective, we're interested in learning as much as we can and moving as fast as we can, so we're there when the wave comes. Because if we wait, you know, it'll be too late and we'll be doing catch up. But you know, even in trying to do the research to build the programs, you know, it's the tipping point's not quite there yet. In some of the other programs that we've connected with, you know, they kind of started out of the Great Recession and some of the federal funding that went through the TAC grant in 2010 through 2014. And they were hoping that, you know, we'd hit this tipping point a little bit sooner, and it's even been hard to sustain their programs while students are still more interested in diesel and some more traditional automotive. So, you know, it's kind of still at the early stage in terms of, you know, getting students into the programs and out to jobs, but we're expecting that tipping point to come fast. And I can add a link to the chat for a report from Advanced Energy Economy and electrification in Illinois, and it has a lot more details and statistics that I pulled some of those graphics from.
Thanks, Kurt.
Jeff reminded us with a note in the chat that the Urbana landfill is also the site of a community solar project, and that he says they're currently hiring and working with more or less 25 local employees as construction is underway now. So that's exciting. Thanks for bringing that, Jeff.
Yeah, and I was gonna piggyback on that one too, because if I heard you correctly, you said, Tim, that 100 jobs were created on the solar site in Danville. Did I hear that correctly?
No, so that particular site was about 20 jobs. Our entire portfolio, which again is all tied to FEJA 1, was about roughly 100 jobs between about 5 projects.
Okay, that makes more sense. Still, it's exciting. Local. It's great. Thank you.
Well, we're coming to the end of the hour. I hope that this town hall has given all of us even more urgency to pass CEJA this month. I want to thank Senator Bennett and his staff for helping us to set up this gathering, and thanks to all of our marvelous presenters. I want to thank especially the organizations that worked together. We've been together now for 3 or 4 years working at the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition, and I just love working with these partners. They're terrific people, and we always have fun. So thank you, and please contact your legislators. I want to remind you as we close of what Bryce Kyle said. You know, he said one of the joys of working in solar was being the change that you want to see in the world. And we have that chance now too. So I just hope that we will take that joy and that drive to be the change that we want to see in the world and use it to push CEJA over the line in the next 2 weeks. So thank you all for being here, and have a great day, and go CEJA. you.